So there's a really popular thing. Excuse me, I have a leftover cough. There's a popular thing that goes around on the internet from time to time, and I sometimes I understand where it's coming from. Sometimes it's coming from a place where people are trying to be honest and self-critical and reflective. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just wrong. And that's where you kind of see people posting things about how um, the church is wrong about one thing, or Christians are wrong about this, that, and the other, and Christians should be this way, and Christians shouldn't be that way, and these are why people are leaving the church, and not that way, and this is why this is why people become atheists, and that way is the reason people become atheists, and it happens from a lot of different reasons, and often enough it has a political kind of bent to it as well. From either angle, I'm really quite annoyed at the prevalence of if you love Jesus, you'll read all this and reply. I hate that, but I also hate the constant, as Rick Warren one time put it, friendly fire, where Christians are just constantly trying to torpedo their own. We don't really need to do that. In case you're curious, there is a place. There is a place for internal self critique and honesty. There is. That place is inside the church. That place is in small group Bible study. That place is in private conversation among friends. That place is in a sermon on a Sunday morning, whether it be a publicly broadcast church message or not. That can be in a recorded message between or among some number of people. Try to continually discuss problems in a heartfelt manner. Where it is not appropriate, in my opinion, is in silly internet memes, in rapid fire Twitter posts, in forum posts where you're not at least attempting to really explain things well. Generally, if it comprises less than 1,000 characters of written word, it isn't worth expressing in terms of criticism, because all that does is, at best, if you're well intentioned, all that does is make you seem like a jerk to people who think you're being a jerk to them. That's all that it does. Trust me, I know I'm a jerk often enough. I'm well aware. But at worst, it's straight up just ignoring Matthew 6. You're just ignoring it entirely. Because Matthew 6 is all about how you should not virtue signal. You shouldn't pray way out in the street so you can be seen and heard. You shouldn't be giving alms to the poor so that they can, or not they, so that everybody can see how generous you are. You're not supposed to do that as a Christian. Jesus was very specific. He hates virtue signaling. Matthew 6 is all about not virtue signaling and being humble. The main thing about a Christian life is to be humble, just live humbly, live well, and be of faith, trust God, and to tell the truth. Part of telling the truth is, of course, spreading the gospel. But tell the truth, live well, love God. That's it. That's it. If you do that, you're going to be 95% of the time right bang in line with what exactly it was Jesus wanted you to be doing. None of that involves tearing down other Christians. Because, again, here's the thing. The least churched Christians that I personally have known, the ones who go the least, the ones who study theology the least, the ones who study the Bible the least, are the ones who are the loudest about how critical everybody needs to be of the church all the time, from top to bottom. There's a reason for that. It's because they don't go. They don't talk to people. Not really. They maybe have had some genuine bad experiences with a handful of Christians, and That stinks. Sorry to hear that. Probably would have been a worse experience if they hadn't been a Christian, but fine. We'll ignore that for the moment. I know very few people who have been involved in church ministry or just general attendance and actual study who are hypercritical of Christians. They're just not. Because they know that they are themselves already critical of themselves. That's why they go to church. To learn how very much they still need Jesus. Now, I've never heard a sermon to the contrary on that in my life. I've never read a single Bible study to the contrary on that in my life. I've never been to a small group where anybody would dispute that on any level. That is normal. That is evangelical. That is Catholic. That is Orthodox. That is every branch of Protestantism. That is top to bottom everywhere you go, everywhere I've ever been. That is how it is couched. It is, we are hopefully getting better, but we still need Jesus. Let's find out today how we need Jesus. That is how it has always been approached. Now, you may yet find, if you look hard and long, some individuals, perhaps even entire congregations, where that is not the case. They are in the minority. Stop acting like they are not in the minority. If that was your majority experience, I'm very sorry for you. You were in the minority. You were in a minority group. The overwhelming majority of people who go to church so that they can say, hey, I need to get my life back on track. I need to get closer to God because I'm not there yet. And I need to become more, not less, holy. I need to focus on praying more, loving God more, loving my family more, and becoming a better person so that I can be a better, more useful person for the purpose of spreading the gospel. That's what people do. Stop acting like they don't.